Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So in this AFK journey video, we're going to talk about the forbidden strat to make Smokey work 100% of the time for Mirage Frostspike right here. So Mirage Frostspike is a boss where debuffing is not the way to go because of the abilities of the boss, where if you actually debuff the boss, the debuff will be nullified and then transferred into the energy masses to reflect the damage towards your team itself. So against this boss, you kind of want to run healers, you want to run buffers together with your DPS in order to achieve maximum damage. And incidentally, this boss also has a massive AoE damage skill which is able to stun the enemies, which is your allies, and this means that Smokey, which is a channeling healer with the ability to do damage as well as buff massive number, might not be that efficient unless you are using this strategy right here. So we'll talk about that. So I've been thinking about how to make Smokey work, right? How can I make sure that Smokey is 100% of the time active? Because against this boss, you do need quite a bit of heals to actually heal up your carries from the Frigid Verdict right here. So this skill over here freezes the highest DPS unit and then reduce their vitality, and if you don't remove the frost seal, that unit will be instantly shattered. So having Smokey in your team as well as other buffers or healers are gonna make a big difference because that will keep your units alive. So the keeping your carries or your units alive is important because that way you can cycle through your skills much more efficiently and then go through more damage with all your units alive. So the last ultimate or the last skill of the boss is the Icicle Celestial Ice Fall right here. So this is a massive AoE skill that shoots lasers as well as your icicles in the middle of the battlefield. So this problem is easily solved if you have sufficient healers as well as supports in your team. Okay, so right here, let's run through a replay where if you don't have sufficient heals, your carry will be instantaneously defeated. So right here, we are running the Mauler support tile together with Smokey as well as Odie and Mikola right here, and this is the second skill coming out from the boss. So if you do not heal your units up fast enough, what will happen is your carry, because usually your carry is the highest DPS unit, will get melted and then you will lose a whole chunk of damage. So therefore, I was actually wondering, is there a way for me to use Smokey in the team? Because Smokey is not only one of the best buffers in the game, but also one of the best healers, right? So that's why we have this experimentation over the past few days with multiple different combinations to actually test out the different unit tiers itself, as well as the consistency of making Smokey work. So in terms of the buffer compartment or in terms of the healers compartment, we have quite a few units. We have the likes of Rowan giving you the potion, massive insta heal, as well as the ultimate cycling ability to allow your units to spam their ultimate. So you can synergize this with other artifacts such as the Frostspike artifact to summon the Icicle Storm, or even your Starshot spell for the Starshot spell damage after 3 ultimate cards itself. You can also obviously use Mikola for the massive arena buff as well as the heal that Mikola is able to provide. Reyna's pretty decent for this boss as well because Reyna's dynamic balance, second skill over here, provides quite a massive amount of heal, which allows your carry to actually heal up really quickly if you have at least one other healer or 2 other healers to be more consistent most of the time. So these are the few healers and debuffers which are generally good. So other than that, Coco also has a little bit of heal, but Coco's heal is a little bit inconsistent. And for Coco's case, damage reduction doesn't reduce the effect of that Frost Sigil, so it's not going to help you survive a lot better or heal your carries back up as fast. So you did rather just have units that can heal, such as Damien, as well as Ludovic, Rowan, or even Hewin in case you have them built up for this boss itself. So these are the healing units or the support units. So we also tried out Shakir for the Lupine Aura buff to run forward in the team itself, and then we obviously have Sonya for the massive buff. And for my free-to-play account right here, what I'll say is, in terms of the units I have, I do think that Twins might actually be really good for this boss, because Twins is another way to actually make Smokey work. But for my free-to-play account right here, as you guys can see, I do not have my Twins built up. So in this team, we are going to use Smokey, and we're going to put Smokey on the Mauler tile right here. And the 3 units I'm going to use for the Mauler side is Mikola, Odie, as well as Smokey. So Mikola, like I mentioned earlier, has the Courageous Sphere for additional haste buff as well as range defense for whoever is in front of the boss right here. And then Smokey has a massive heal number with the ability to buff the whole team within the aroma, assuming he's able to channel his full aroma. And last but not least, being able to do a lot of damage with Withering Potion right here. And then we have OD, main carry against this boss, being able to do a lot of damage and being one of the strongest unit in my account right now. So there could be other better damage dealers, but based on my own account, to activate the Mauler Factional talent, I'm using OD, as well as buffing OD up with my Sonya over here. So I'll be buffing OD as well as Mikola with Sonya, so that OD, number one, do more damage, and Mikola's damage output coming out from Passionate Opening right here is able to reach a decent amount. And last but not least, we're going to throw in our Rainer. So Rainer is going to debuff the boss, although the debuff will not be active because of the boss's Frozen Vengeance right here. But more importantly, this is to send OD forward to benefit from Mikola as well as Smokey's aroma in front. Other than that, we also get the massive heal from the Dynamic Balance skill, which will help to recover the HP on OD, which is my main DPS, as fast as possible, such that this Frigid Verdict will not kill my carry. So this team over here, the carry is definitely able to survive. And why does Smokey work here? Why is Smokey good on the Mauler Factional Tau? So let me explain this, okay? First of all, Mauler Factional Tau ability Relentless Hunt allows the Prime Carrier to teleport next to their prey. So this allows Smokey to teleport right next to the boss. And how does this actually prevent Smokey from being stunned by the boss? That is because mechanically, the boss actually applies this skill on the enemy's area Tau. So as you guys can see right here, if we teleport Smokey next to the boss, we will be standing on this empty Tau right here on the boss side, which does not proc this stun from this skill, because this skill do not hit the boss's own Tau. Right, so you guys might be thinking, this Zip guy must be kidding me. Okay, but anyway, so we'll showcase the battle here to see the full duration, 100% channeling for Smokey right here. Okay, so I just run this at 2 times because later on we'll run the battle a few times to showcase the consistency. So right here, because we reposition Smokey all the way in front, when the boss actually casts the ability itself, you can see Rainer being stunned, right? But Smokey, who is on the enemy side of the battlefield, is not stunned by the effect because we are not on the enemy side. So therefore, we are not affected by the damage as well as the stun portion. So that's a very interesting mechanic which I discovered a few days back after my experimentation. And initially I thought it was just a stroke of luck where I was able to allow my Smokey to channel the full duration, and then subsequently I just tried to put Smokey in that position in the next few days, and somehow I was able to do it pretty consistently. So later on, after running through the replays a few times, you guys can see that with Smokey's aroma, we are able to provide the heal as well as buff on all the allies right here in that corner position while not being affected. So this is actually really massive. We're currently ranked 69 over here. So comparing this, right, we're gonna take this opportunity to fight the boss again, but this time around we're gonna use probably other units, for example the likes of Shakir for the buffing component, so that way you guys can see the difference. So for this one, we will be using probably Shakir for this one. Yep, I guess we'll be using Shakir for this one, and then we're gonna use this same formation, but we are changing out Smokey for Shakir right here. Right, same artifacts, same levels. Without further ado, let's showcase this. Okay, so the reason why I'm not putting OD on the factional talent side is because for OD's case, he will do more damage against the boss, but then OD doesn't survive that well in that situation. So what happens is that if, let's say for example, if you put OD on the Mauler Tau, your OD will actually die pretty easily because the heals from Smokey at the start of battle, or the heals are not sufficient to heal him back up, and then you just lose OD maybe at the 20-30 second mark of the battle itself. So that is one of the issues that I realized when using OD on the Haunter Tau itself. So that's that. So right here we have Shakir, and as you guys can see, I think the damage numbers are pretty close. right? But there is two problems. Number one, we are not hitting as hard as compared to the Smokey team, because Smokey himself does quite a bit of damage. So later on, we'll compare the damage between the two teams. So right here, a lot less. So let's run through the damage between the two teams. So this is the damage comparison between the two teams, and right here we have OD being buffed up by our Smokey over here, and then we have the OD being buffed up by Shakir right here. So I think another way to optimize this team would be to actually put Sonya on the Hunter Tower and then reposition Reina in a sense where Reina don't get buffed. So this way we can do this for the team, and without further ado, let's see the results for this battle. Let's go. Okay, so this is for those of you guys who don't intend to use Smokey and might have Shakir developed. So I'll say this would maybe be a better team, assuming if OD can be healed up. But as you guys can see right here, if you run the team like this, Sonya gets buffed by the Molotov, but your carry, which is OD, actually don't survive. So that's where we lose quite a bit of damage by losing our carry, and that's why the Smokey strategy is a lot more consistent for me, because I'm able to heal out my carry, and at the same time I'm able to achieve maximum damage of my other units with sufficient sustain for the second skill itself. So this is why Smokey strat really good stuff. So even though we managed to kill 30 chests over here, but we lose quite a lot of damage because our units just started to melt off throughout the battle itself. So I can safely say that using that Smokey strat will be more consistent for most people, because that way you have a triple healer comp that is able to prevent the insta kill from the boss while having really good buff from your units itself. So that's pretty much it for this video. Just a simple sharing of my Zeee free to play team on my VN account right here. Currently we are at the 69 rank. Formation is as such, so feel free to use this comp for yourself if you have all these units available. With regards to the artifact, my personal best artifact is this one right here, the one that summons the Icicle Storm after every 5 ultimate cast. But on the global side, it could be a lot better, so we shall see how. But this is the comp that I use on my free-to-play VN account to get best damage. Thank you very much for tuning in. Do remember to like and subscribe to see more, and I'll see you guys again in my next AFK journey video. Bye guys!